Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well today, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to clean when you feel overwhelmed. This is going to be like a motivational video. I'm going to be speaking, and then there's going to be clips of me cleaning and doing other things that are relatable to what I am talking about. I have some notes right here that I'm going to be looking down at. I have 5 different tips that I'll be sharing, and so we will get right into it. The first thing is clean things at a slower pace, and I have wrote down as well that rushing could lead to mistakes, and that's something that I've had to learn because there has been multiple times where maybe isn't exactly with cleaning, but with cooking, I will rush and try to run around the kitchen and do all this stuff at the same time. And I've noticed that it becomes overwhelming very quickly, and in order to just get rid of some of that overwhelmment, it helps to slow down, to do things at a slower pace. And the other thing that I wrote down as well is that it's easier on your body. The older we get, the more that our body may or may not be able to do the things from when we were younger. And yes, I know that I am young, but even now I am noticing there's things that I need to be careful of. And so, yes, I believe that cleaning things at a slower pace can be as simple as like you're doing dishes at a slower pace. Maybe you're not trying to rush. You don't have maybe anywhere to go. There's no reason to do anything quickly. And so if that means you got to take the weekend in order to have the moment to clean and do things at a more timely pace, then let that be your time, and know that it doesn't have to be as stressful. So my number 2 tip is take small breaks in between. And so I also wrote the more that you're productive, the more that you rest, the more that you become productive. So if you know that there's a task that is requiring a lot out of your body, maybe you're bending over a lot, or it's just something that's very straining, then taking the time to give yourself like 5-minute breaks in between the one task that you're doing, I think can be very beneficial, because you don't want to hurt your body. Kind of like in the first tip, you want to also make sure that you aren't so harsh on yourself, right? Because the other thing that I wrote is you are not lazy for taking a break. There might be some people who are in the constant mode or mindset of go, 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 work, 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 and sometimes you may not always take the time for a break because your brain is wanting to just keep going. And also you might be harsh on yourself, and you might believe like, oh, well, if I take a break, then I'm not feeling like at my best, so just know that taking the small breaks in between are very important, especially if you are in pain, or the task that you're doing is requiring a lot of physical work. So my 3rd tip is to listen to cheerful music. And I think this really can be helpful when you are overwhelmed or stressed out, because it kind of can just take away those thoughts that just keep going and going and going. And also, by the way, if you hear noises outside, that is the people cutting the grass, and so you're probably hearing maybe a little bit of humming, and so that's what that is. And so anyway, I wrote down, I enjoy listening to classical music. I really like music that is instrumental. I'm not too much of a fan of words in music. Sometimes I like it. It's not my always my go-to, but what I like to do is I search online classical musics that are within the season. So right now I like listening to music that has classical music playing, and then there's just these fall landscape images that are going across the screen, or like anything that's fall related, and they have these images pop up, and I just really like having that up on the screen, even if it's just on my phone or even on the TV. It doesn't matter what it is. I just like seeing that as I do things, and then just hearing the music is very enjoying as well. And then the other thing I put was, it just puts yourself in a good mood. You know, sometimes when you see the mess and you see how big it is, and you just immediately start getting overwhelmed because you put all this, how much you have to do into your head, right? Like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And so I think in order to really just kind of get all of that noise out of your head, it's really good to just kind of put on some music, have it relaxing and peaceful, so that it can help have that same effect with you. So my fourth tip is to reward yourself, and I think this can be very helpful when you feel like that you've done a lot of work and maybe you want to do a little bit more than just rest, and so you give yourself that moment of something I wrote down was your favorite snack or your favorite drink. So maybe it's like a really hot day, or maybe you're just sweating a lot, and so you need something to refresh yourself, and so you get yourself like your favorite drink. You have like your favorite flavor of tea bag or something. Maybe you make it into a cold tea, or maybe even a warm drink, you know, during winter time. And other ways are, you could reward yourself with reading, or maybe you have like a little game that you like to play on your phone that can be peaceful, or maybe you like to write or do some sort of like puzzles or something that makes you want to enjoy your time, that isn't so time consuming. And yeah, that can be a really nice little way to keep you going and not to feel so stressed out when you clean, so that in between, not only do you have a rest, but then after something that you feel like is an accomplished task, then you reward yourself, which then it feels very good and it keeps you motivated to continue to do more. And my fifth and final tip is to set a timer. Now, this is something that I don't always do, but it is something that I have recently kind of been doing more often, and it's making me remember, because I used to do it like before more often. It's making me remember how much I really did appreciate it, especially when let's say you have a lot of laundry or a lot of dishes, and so you just put on a timer for 10 minutes and just do whatever you can to get it started and to get it going. And, you know, after your 10 minutes or whatever time that you want to put on, you just start realizing over time, like, you know what? It doesn't take that long to clean a little area. Even if it is huge, it may not always take that long. And so, like, let's say you do have a huge pile of dishes and you don't finish it within that 10-minute timer, then you go and take your break. and then you come back and then do it again, or maybe you do something else into another room, right? And the other thing I wrote too was you won't over or underwork yourself when you set a timer. And I think that could be useful too for people who maybe they overwork and they don't have a time limit. They don't know when to stop and they just keep going, like what I was saying earlier. And then it can also help for people who maybe they just don't even know where to start, or maybe they don't even know how long that they're cleaning, and so maybe they think it takes a really long time to do something, but then you realize, oh, I put this timer on and I do this and I actually got a lot more done than I realized, because that type of realization has happened to me a couple of times. Those are my 5 different tips for how to have some motivation while cleaning and to, not feel so overwhelmed. And so just to do a quick recap, the first one, clean things at a slower pace. 2, take small breaks in between working. 3, listen to cheerful music. 4, reward yourself. And 5, set a timer. And I know that there's plenty of other tips and other things that I could have mentioned, but I like to keep things kind of basic and simple because there could be room for discussion or even more. And so if there's something that you want to share in the comments, that would be great. Go ahead. You can let others know, let me know, whatever it may be. And yes, that is all that I have for this video. And if you've enjoyed it, please let me know and give it a like. And until next time, I will see you. Have a great one, and bye-bye.